Throughout 2025, a pattern of concerning behaviour has emerged. In February, Justin Bieber's bizarre behaviour at Hailey's Road pop-up event left fans worried, as videos showed him smiling wide and shifting his weight from side to side and clutching at his pants with both hands. In April, videos from Coachella showed him disoriented, swaying, and smoking what appeared to be cannabis while appearing disconnected from those around him. By June, his social media turned into a minefield of cryptic posts about being tired of transactional relationships, alongside confused selfies that sparked fresh concern. On Father's Day 2025, he posted a black and white selfie with a middle finger emoji, captioned, "I'm a dad that's not to be fucked with." When fans expressed concern, he dismissed them with, "Worry about yourself, Gramps." Sources close to him say he seems more troubled than ever and is pulling back from social gatherings. But here's what most people miss. This isn't a sudden breakdown. This is the predictable continuation of a story that started when a 12-year-old boy from Stratford, Ontario, uploaded covers to YouTube. To understand what's happening to Justin Bieber now, you need the complete story. Because what we're witnessing isn't random celebrity chaos. It's the predictable long-term effects of putting a 12-year-old through unprecedented global fame. Justin Drew Bieber was born on March 1st, 1994, in London, Ontario, Canada, and raised in Stratford by his single mother, Patty Mallet, who worked multiple jobs to support them. His father, Jeremy Bieber, was largely absent during his early childhood, a relationship Justin later described as not in a place where he could raise a kid due to immaturity. From a very young age, Justin displayed an innate musical talent, teaching himself to play drums, guitar, piano, and trumpet. He also enjoyed sports like hockey and soccer. The kid was genuinely talented, but talent alone doesn't create global superstars. His mother, Patty Mallet, had a difficult past, including abuse, drug and alcohol use, and a at 17, which she details in her autobiography, Nowhere But Up. Her faith and motherhood guided her, and she shared her past with Justin when he was 12, which affected him in a good way and inspired him. This foundation of resilience would prove crucial, but it couldn't protect what was coming. At age 12, Justin participated in a local singing competition. Stratford-Idol, placing second. His mother began uploading videos of his performances to YouTube in 2007, primarily to share them with family and friends. These weren't professional productions, just a kid singing covers of R&B hits, but they quickly gained a following. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2008, talent manager Scooter Braun accidentally stumbled upon one of Bieber's YouTube videos and was immediately impressed by his charisma and vocal prowess. Braun, then 25, persisted in contacting Mallet, who was initially reluctant due to Braun's Judaism, but eventually agreed to bring Justin to Atlanta. In Atlanta, Bieber met R&B superstar Usher, who, along with Braun, took him under his wing. Both Usher and Justin Timberlake expressed interest in signing Bieber, who ultimately signed with Island Def Jam in partnership with Raymond Braun Media Group in 2008. Bieber and his mother then relocated to Atlanta. This is where the fairy tale narrative usually ends, but it's actually where the problems began, because what happened next wasn't just success, it was a complete obliteration of normal human development. Bieber's ascent to superstardom was remarkably swift, leading to the phenomenon known as Bieber Fever. He released his first single, One Time, in July 2009, which quickly became a top 20 hit internationally. His debut album, My World, released in November 2009, had the strongest debut by a new artist that year. His first full-length studio album, My World 2.0, released in March 2010, debuted at the top of sales charts in multiple countries, making him the youngest male solo artist to achieve this feat in the US since Stevie Wonder. He became the first artist to have 5 #1 records on the Billboard album chart before his 19th birthday. But here's what nobody talks about. His ascent was also linked to the rise of digital platforms, with YouTube being central to his discovery and social media fostering direct fan engagement. This unprecedented exposure meant that his entire growth, including awkward teenage years and the natural change in his voice, occurred under an intense public microscope. This created a unique form of instant fame that bypassed traditional industry gatekeepers, but simultaneously exposed him to immediate and intense public judgment and sexualization. Think about that for a second. Every embarrassing moment, every voice crack, every awkward phase that normal teenagers experience privately, he experienced in front of millions of people who felt entitled to judge him. The intense public hatred and sexualization he faced from a young age created a deeply challenging psychological environment. This suggests that while his mother provided a moral compass, the sheer scale of his fame and the accompanying public vitriol overwhelmed any protective measures, contributing to a broken brain. It underscores the idea that early fame can be a form of trauma, even when accompanied by immense success. So when people ask what happened to the sweet kid from YouTube, they're missing the point. The question isn't what happened to him. The question is what that level of fame does to a developing brain. And by 2013, we got our answer. Quick pause. More than 90% of you guys have not subscribed to the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It motivates me to keep making these videos. Thank you. Now let's get back to the video. The trajectory of Bieber's career was far from linear. By age 20, he had gone from one of the most loved and adored people in the world to the most ridiculed, judged, and hated person in the world. He was voted Villain of the Year twice as a teenager, even over figures like Putin. The public's treatment of him was horrific, with constant bullying, misogyny, and sexualization. Beginning around 2013, Bieber entered what he termed a rebellious phase. The legal troubles mounted fast. His legal issues began with a vandalism charge for spray painting graffiti in Rio de Janeiro.
Some of the graffiti on this wall in Rio de Janeiro is said to be the handiwork of pop star Justin Bieber, and authorities there are not impressed.
In January 2014, he was accused of throwing eggs at a neighbor's house in Los Angeles. He later pleaded no contest to misdemeanor vandalism, agreeing to pay over $80,000 in damages, serve 2 years of probation, 5 days of community service, and 12 weeks of anger management.
A judge has sentenced pop star Justin Bieber for egging a neighbor's Calabasas home. It comes after the singer pleaded no contest to misdemeanor vandalism. CBS 2's Christy Pajardo has more on Bieber's punishment.
Then came the arrest that made global headlines. On January 23, 2014, Bieber was arrested in Miami Beach for alleged drag racing, DUI, driving with an expired license, and resisting arrest without violence. Breath tests showed his alcohol level was below the underage limit, but urine tests revealed marijuana and the anti-anxiety drug Xanax. He reportedly admitted to smoking marijuana that night and berated officers. He later pleaded guilty to reduced charges, receiving an anger management course, DUI impact videos, court costs, and a $50,000 charity donation. But the most revealing moment came during his video depositions for assault lawsuits. Video depositions from these cases showed him appearing angry, arrogant, flippant, and defiant, dismissing questions about Selena Gomez and even dissing Usher. Paparazzi confrontations became frequent, with Bieber lashing out verbally and physically. This wasn't just bad behavior. This was a young man whose reward system was completely broken. Bieber admitted to battling drug addiction, starting with marijuana at 12 or 13, and later escalating to alcohol, MDMA, lean, and Xanax. His substance abuse spiraled so out of control that his security team would check his pulse nightly to ensure he was still breathing. He described feeling like I was dying. He used drugs as a barrier to cope with the shame of his actions and the fast-paced lifestyle, admitting to being super promiscuous, despite his mother teaching him to respect women. Here's the crucial insight most people miss. This period highlighted the hedonic treadmill effect, where the thrill of new experiences and fame wears off, leading to a constant chase for stimulation, similar to addiction. His admission that he had no skills in the real world and access to whatever I wanted directly aligns with this, suggesting that unchecked access and a lack of grounding can lead to a desperate search for feeling. His bad boy phase wasn't rebellion. It was a predictable outcome of an unmanaged reward system in a developing brain exposed to extreme stimuli. In January 2015, he issued a public apology on Facebook after an appearance on Ellen's show, expressing nervousness and admitting he was not who I was pretending to be. He acknowledged his erratic, immature behavior and past transgressions. His 2015 album, Purpose, was widely perceived as a comeback and apology album. While it succeeded commercially and showcased his vocal talent, some critics felt it fails unequivocally as an apology, with songs like Love Yourself being seen as mean. Bieber himself later stated the album was about a girl, not an apology, so the first attempt at rehabilitation was essentially performative. But then something more significant happened. The release of Purpose in November 2015 marked a significant shift, as Bieber began breaking away from his child star status and stepping into adulthood. His public embrace of faith coincided with his efforts to rebuild his image and find stability. During one of his off periods with Selena, Justin had a brief non-exclusive romance with Hailey Baldwin in late 2015. They had known each other since they were teens, first meeting awkwardly in 2009. Their friendship deepened over the years, including attending Hillsong Church together. After his final split with Selena in March 2018, Justin reconnected with Hailey, and they got engaged months later. They married in September 2018. Their marriage provided Justin with stability and support. Hailey has been described as a pillar of support and a calming, stabilizing presence, especially during his health battles. For a while, it seemed like he'd found the answer: faith, marriage, sobriety from drugs since 2014. He explicitly states Jesus keeps me wanting to live for others and provided peace during this horrific storm. But here's the problem. Despite achieving sobriety from drugs in 2014, Bieber confessed he never fully addressed the root causes of his struggles. He continued to battle depression and loneliness, leading to the cancellation of several shows during his 2017 tour. Then his body started breaking down. In June 2022, Bieber publicly announced his diagnosis with Ramsay Hunt syndrome, a rare neurological disorder caused by the varicella-zoster virus that attacks facial nerves. RHS caused partial facial paralysis, preventing him from blinking one eye, smiling on one side of his face, or moving one nostril.
As you can see, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move.
This forced him to postpone and eventually cancel his Justice World Tour dates in June and July 2022, and later the remaining dates in March 2023. The stress was literally paralyzing him, but the most telling detail: his brain scans at Amen clinics revealed issues other than bipolar disorder, and he began therapies like hyperbaric oxygen therapy and nutrient therapy to heal his brain. Even with all the traditional markers of stability, marriage, faith, sobriety, therapy, his brain was still showing signs of damage. Which brings us to 2023 and the professional relationship that defined his career for 15 years. Braun, who discovered Bieber in 2008, managed his career for 15 years. However, their professional partnership ended in 2023. The split was reportedly tied to financial disputes, specifically an $8.8 million debt Bieber owed Braun. This stemmed from a $26 million advance Bieber owed AEG for his cancelled 2022 Justice Tour, which Braun's company, Hybe, stepped up to pay, with an agreement for Bieber to repay over 10 years. Bieber allegedly only made one payment before stopping, leading to accusations of unpaid commissions. Despite the difficulties, they reportedly settled the money dispute. Braun has since retired from artist management in 2024 to focus on his CEO role at Hybe America, stating he respects Bieber's desire to do it on your own and is rooting for him. Bieber, meanwhile, sold his music catalogue for over $200 million in 2023, so he's financially set for life, married to someone who supports him, has a strong faith foundation, and is free from the management relationship that discovered him. You'd think this would be his moment of ultimate freedom. Instead, 2024 brought a new challenge that would test everything. Justin and Hailey Bieber welcomed their first child, a son named Jack Blues Bieber, in August 2024. The name Jack Blues follows a Bieber family tradition of JB initials. His father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, praised Justin's growth and commitment to family, noting their happiness and health are better than ever. The baby's arrival caused a total shift in their marriage, but fatherhood didn't bring the healing everyone expected. Parenthood has also brought a whole new set of pressures and has reportedly made him feel more burdened than before. Hailey described postpartum life as the most sensitive time. Think about this. The man who never had a normal childhood is now responsible for giving someone else a childhood. The pressure of that responsibility, combined with his unresolved trauma, created a perfect storm. His new album, Swag, is said to reflect on his experiences as a husband and father, with track titles like Dad's Love and Therapy Session. But the album release in July 2025 came alongside the most concerning behaviour we've seen from him in years. He also shared screenshots of a text exchange ending a friendship, stating, "I will never suppress my emotions for someone. Conflict is part of a relationship. If you don't like my anger, you don't like me." Sources close to him and the media are asking, what's going on with Bieber? With some saying he seems more troubled than ever and is pulling back from social gatherings. His representatives have denied drug abuse rumours, calling them exhausting and pitiful. Despite welcoming their child and renewing vows in May 2024, rumours of marital strain and divorce have circulated in 2025. Hailey was seen publicly without her wedding ring, fueling speculation. Reports suggest their marriage is deteriorating and explosive, with them avoiding being in the same room at home and travelling separately. Hailey has publicly addressed the rumours, calling them a mindfuck during her sensitive postpartum period. She has remained a pillar of support for Justin, trying to be as supportive as possible. there have been unverified reports and speculation about a potential conservatorship due to his erratic behaviour, with him reportedly leaning on Britney Spears for support, though no authoritative evidence shows any legal action has been filed. Speculation also arose regarding Diddy's potential abuse of Bieber due to past interactions, but Bieber's representative stated he was not a victim, but supports others who were harmed. So what's actually happening to Justin Bieber? The answer is both simpler and more complex than most people realise. His recent erratic social media posts, public outbursts and anger issues echo the rebellious phase and public confrontations of his earlier tumultuous years. His explicit statement, asking a traumatised person not to be traumatised is simply mean, strongly suggests that the core issues stemming from his abnormal childhood development remain unresolved despite years of therapy and faith. The pattern is clear. Every time Justin achieves what society considers stability, like sobriety, marriage, faith, fatherhood, the underlying trauma finds new ways to surface. Because healing from the kind of developmental damage caused by child stardom isn't something you can pray away, marry away, or buy your way out of. It requires sustained professional intervention that addresses the root cause, a brain that was fundamentally altered during its most crucial development period. Modern celebrity culture, particularly through social media, encourages a constant performance of authenticity, where even deeply personal struggles are monetized or become part of a public narrative. His public sharing of private text messages ending a friendship and his cryptic posts about transactional relationships blur the lines between genuine emotional expression and public spectacle. It raises questions about the true nature of healing when it's constantly broadcast and consumed by millions. Justin Bieber's story isn't just about one person struggling with fame, it's a case study in what happens when we treat children as products, when we prioritize commercial success over human development, and when we expect traditional solutions to fix unprecedented problems. His narrative powerfully illustrates the profound and often damaging long-term effects of child stardom. Propelled into unimaginable fame and wealth at a tender age, he lacked the normal developmental experiences and coping mechanisms, leading to deep-seated trauma that continues to manifest in his adult life. The real tragedy isn't his occasional erratic behaviour or social media posts. The real tragedy is that we're surprised by them. Because if you understand the complete story, from YouTube discovery to global superstardom, to public hatred, to attempted recovery, to the pressures of adult life, his 2025 struggles aren't random, they're predictable. Bieber surprised fans by releasing his 7th studio album, Swag, on July 11, 2025, his first full-length release since 2021. The album, with 21 tracks, is described as some of his most personal music yet, reflecting on his experiences as a husband and father. Hailey and Jack are part of the album's artwork. What's happening to Justin Bieber isn't a mystery. It's the continuation of a story that started when a 12-year-old's YouTube videos caught the attention of a talent manager. It's the long-term cost of an experiment in human development that prioritized profit over psychology. And it's a reminder that some forms of trauma can't be solved with traditional success markers. The question isn't what's wrong with Justin Bieber. The question is what we learned from his story and whether we're willing to apply those lessons to the next generation of young stars. Because right now, there are kids posting videos online, dreaming of fame, not knowing that the price of getting everything you want might be losing everything you are. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you found value in this. Oh, and YouTube thinks you will like this video. Do watch it before you leave.